Hey YouTube, coming at you with another Jungle Cup team, and I wanted to try Abomasnow because when I was doing the team building for the top teams that I put out on Fridays, everything like was core broken by Abomasnow. Like Abomasnow could deal with not a ton of grass, but like the grass and the mud boys and just the waters in general and grounds in this. So it's just like and flyers. So it's just like Abomasnow can break so many things. So I put it in. Why is it weak? Because Vigoroth is everywhere. So okay. What if I run like an ABB-ish style? Again, it's not a true ABB in the fact that they have same typings that you can. But like if I use Diggersby, maybe Diggersby can draw out Vigoroth and then Pelipper as a flyer should be Vigoroth and then Abomasnow can roam free. So that was the thought process. It did okay. Again, when you try these sort of like ABB teams with not like just the same typing, you leave yourself open to other things. So for example, Diggersby is also weak to water. Abomasnow is also weak to fire. Like, so you're not truly drawing out the same typing, but for the most part with Vigoroth everywhere, you are trying to just draw that out. Yeah, let's look at some battles. Diggersby was actually kind of interesting with the Scorching Sands Hyper Beam combo. So Charizard on the lead, and Charizard's like this is where it's already like this team's already like, okay, this isn't how you want to play this out. But it's like you have a fire which beats Abomasnow, and you have a Diggersby which is ground, so you can only throw the Hyper Beam. And there is your fighter, right? In Vigoroth, not a fighter, but counter user. So I just kind of need to stand. Once I grab the second shield, I'm like, you know what? Diggersby's tanky enough to just absorb these counters. And even if I need to shield up one body slam, I don't need to shield up a body slam. But if I need to, if I eventually do, that's okay. And I get to the hyper beam, assuming a hyper beam can take out from this range. Not quite. So I get another move off. I do end up shielding this. Let's see what happens if they come Charizard right away. Do I instant swap here? Or do I try to get to the... I'm going to try and get to the Hyper Beam here. They're going to need two moves. I'm going to have to shield, right? So this is already looking kind of like iffy. I should be able to get the Hyper Beam though, and then we'll have to just see what's in the back. The good news is I took a Vigoroth and Charizard, so the Abomasnow theoretically should have, unless they have 3 answers to this. No, there's your grass, right? And that's the thing. It would be very unlikely for them just to luckily line up 3 answers to Abomasnow. So there's your one weakness to Abomasnow. There's your one shot. Goodbye. Steelix. Let's see if I've played this 2 ways. Yeah, so the first way I played this is you will get to 2 weather balls before they take you out. So I think I just kind of try and grab a shield here. Throw one here, throw this. This is over 50%. One more wing attack, weather ball, grab a shield to take this out. I've also played it where, like, if you're going to try and draw out a Vigoroth, try and draw it out immediately with Diggersby, right? Because I'm going to have to switch into Diggersby eventually. So you can play it either way. I think coming straight Diggersby is fine. So this is, again, a bad matchup because you're a ground primarily, but Hyper Beam just does like 40-ish%. I'm really annoyed by these. It doesn't affect the actual gameplay because the moves still do what they're supposed to do. Like, as you can see, they're not very effective above. That neutral Hyper Beam doing not very effective. When you lower opponent's attack or defense, you don't actually see the words. You just see the image there. Some stuff that goes super effective, you're not getting like that. That's a neutral move. It's not very effective move. Again, it does not actually affect the gameplay. The moves are doing what they're supposed to do, and it's just more of like an annoyance. And so this is what I'm talking about. So Diggersby drew out a flyer, and they still have Vigoroth, right? So if you want to try and draw out, you might want to just do like either a Vigoroth instead of Diggersby, or like another normal Pokemon in this meta. I do end up taking it out And I still get to the Scorching Sand, so I do end up winning this matchup. So you can work around it, right? Diggersby is tanky enough, Abomasnow hard-hitting enough to work around any issues you may see. Buzzhole, again, Buzzhole is your counter user. Out comes Mandibuzz, so good alignment here. You can live one Aerial Ace, and you'll be able to outpace moving forward. So you could just kind of take it in the one shield if you want. So they end up shielding, so I will shield back. Why you take it in the one shield is because those Powder Snows are really adding up here, which is really nice. So this will probably take out between all these Powder Snows and Weather Balls. But they commit to the 2 shield. And now they lose CMP too. So, I mean, if you watched my video this morning and you watched this weekend, the amount of times I said, but I don't count. So it's not like I'm going to sit here and crap on anyone for making that mistake. Get to the Weather Ball. I was hoping to take it out. The thing is, like, why am I throwing this? Because everything is resisted here. Lunge is resisted, Superpower is resisted, so I don't really need to throw that. And it's double super effective wing attack, so I could have just farmed down. I mean, in the end, 2 things weak to Flyer. This will one-shot, whether it's lowered or not. So yeah, if you're going to use Diggersby, I think you need to go Scorching Sands Hyper Beam if you're going to use it in this scenario. Whiscash could lead. Mantine. Mantine's a tricky one. As you're saying, I'm staying in because like, oh, Mantine's tricky. I need to land a Hurricane, which I think I'm almost positive they shield. Abomasnow is going to take super effective from the wing attack Aerial Ace. Mudshot's resisted. I need to land Hyper Beams. So it's a bad combo here, and I think that's part of my downfall with this. So had I had like a more neutral second Pokemon, I probably would have gotten to that, but I'm kind of stuck here. There's 2 things now that we're halfway through these battles, maybe a third through the battles. There's 2 things I wanted to check. The first is Abomasnow. PV Poke is recommending Weather Ball. I see a ton of people run Icy Wind. And so if I'm so torn on it. I think with Shadow Abomasnow, you're so glassy, you kind of need that quick Weather Ball. So Weather Ball's 35 energy, 79.2 damage, 2.26 damage per energy. Whereas Icy Wind is 45 energy, 86.4 damage, 1.92 damage per energy, but obviously lowers your 100% chance of lowering your opponent's attack. So it's just in the fast move counts you can see. Weather Ball takes 5-4, 5-4 to get to. So 5 Powder Snows the first time, 4 the second time, 5-4, right? So really quick, but then Icy Wind is 6-6, 5-6. So you're really adding a lot of extra fast moves there. So I don't think it's worth it. I saw a few people run it, and it's really annoying when you get hit with it. So there's that to consider. And then Diggersby. So Diggersby recommended moveset on Jungle Cup is Scorching Sand Hyper Beam. And I think it's probably worth it to run this because I have argued that it's actually better to run Fire Punch in open. Fire Punch Scorching Sands in open. I think Hyper Beam is probably the play overall here. So the thing is you have three ground type moves. I was like, why do they recommend Scorching Sand when Dig is the exact same? So Scorching Sands, Dig, Earthquake. Scorching Sands, Dig, same stat product, but Scorching Sands obviously 30% chance of lowering your opponent's attack. So that's why you run that. And then Earthquake is a higher damage per energy, but it's also 15 more energy. So no point of running that when you have Scorching Sands. Fire Punch is a terrible move, but it's a nice bait move and a coverage move. So 40 energy, 55 damage, 1.38. So terrible damage per energy. If it wasn't for at the time Medi having Ice Punch, I said they need to buff all these punches. Because having a 1.38 damage per energy move is at 1.4 is terrible with no like secondary effects. Like you're not gonna raise your attack or lower their attack or anything. It's just a straight 1.38 damage per energy move. It's really bad for 40. But the problem was Medi had it so you couldn't buff Ice Punch because then Medi would be even worse. And now the other ones that have it are like Annihilate. I mean, Poliwrath runs Icy Wind now, but like Annihilate had it and Poliwrath had it. So it's tough to buff that move when a bunch of these fighters who are already so dominant can just get even more dominant from that. Hyper Beam with Stab, right? Same type attack bonus because it's a normal type move. 80 energy, 180 damage, 2.25. So it is a nuke if I've ever seen one here. 180 damage, which is not going to one-shot everything because, again, you need to consider your attack stat. It's not just straight like 180 damage. It's actually like a formula. So you have to multiply it by, I think, your attack stat and something else. Your attack's only 96.3. So very, very, obviously, you're very defensive heavy, right? So even though it's a nuke, it hits hard. It just doesn't hit like as amazing as it could with Diggersby, as opposed to if it was like some other. I wonder what else has Hyper Beam. Do all these Pokemon have a Hyper Beam, but they just don't run it? Yep. I put in a Hyper Beam to be Poke, and I'm like, how many? And then a bunch of Pokemon come up. Lickitung too, eh? Yep, it does. But you just don't need it with Body Slam. It's Lickitung, Dragonite, Obstagoon, Wiggly, Raticate, which I'm covering up. Zygarde, have not built that up. Galarian Weezing has Hyper Beam? Yep, interesting. Snorlax, Licky. So none of these, Hyper Beam is not the recommended move on anything here. I guess because 80 energy, you really need a bulky Pokemon to be able to get to 80 energy. That's a high energy cost. Like, just to put it into perspective, Earthquake is only 65 energy. So Hyper Beam at 80 is it the highest, one of the highest energy moves? Almost. It's tied for the highest energy move at, well, I don't count Struggle because that's a joke. Shadow Force is also a terrible joke of a move, 90 for 120, so that's terrible. But then 80 is actually the next one. Zap Cannon, Solar Beam, Hyper Beam, Giga Impact, Giga Drain, Fire Blast. All 80 energy. So that's why not a lot of people use it. And 1.87, that's about right. So that's enough of the side. Abomasnow just got to stay in here because you're, again, so good. So that's the thing. I feel like this team, I like each individual piece, and I did well with it. I can't lie. I'm actually doing great in this cup so far. I think it's two things. I think it's the flexibility of actually allowing me to use a bunch of different Pokemon that I like using, that I just haven't used a bunch in open. Like, I used to love using Pelipper. Eradicate you're going to see tomorrow. So a bunch of these Pokemon that I love using that I just don't get to use in open. So I play better with them. I play well with them. So just even having them in limited meta is nice. And then the second thing is, because I'm not trying to grind right now, right? I'm playing for enjoyment and not pushing sets. So if I pushed every single set every single day like I have for every single season up until now, I would be at like probably pushing expert. But right now I'm like barely, I don't even think I've hit veteran yet, but I'm at like 2490-ish. Like, but again, no rush. I've played, even though you have a bunch of extra sets this, like today, I think I played 3 or 4 sets today and like 3 or 4 sets yesterday, and that's like comfortable for me. Like that's good. I'm not like forcing myself to finish. So yeah, it's making the game more enjoyable. But obviously I'm not as far as I normally would be for how far are we? Let's see if I get out of Diggersby in this one. If I go see this one, I go Diggersby right away, which I think is probably the smarter move. And there's your Mantine, but I'll have at least Hyper Beam. So try and grab a shield. Try and take it out if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 6 weeks in. How many weeks are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more weeks after this week. And this week's still got like 5 days left, so it's still got a while here. Okay, so that's plenty of time. 1, 2, 3. So half of this week, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But the second last week is Catch Cup, so I really don't want to do that. So I may have to put a push on soon. Let's see what we got here. I think the push will start. I think the push is already kind of starting a little bit. I'll hit Veteran this week, and next week is Match League and Jungle Cup. And if I have such an advantage, if I'm actually focusing on this here, in this Jungle Cup, and it's next week, I feel like I'll have a pretty big advantage going into next week, knowing like the meta. So I probably will push pretty hard the next couple weeks, and then we got Great League, then we got an open week, so all of them. Then we have Great League and Master Premier. That'll be fun. Master Premier, I haven't played that in a while. And then Ultra League and a Great League Remix. Great League Remix again on for 2 weeks. What did they ban this time? Sorry, I know this is a very so this time they banned a lot more of the actual Pokemon. Aesanslash, Wiggly, Lickitung, Lantern, Azumarill, Umbreon, Skarmory, Vigoroth, Medi, Whiscash, Altaria, Registeel, Defensive Alexis, Bastiodon, Galarian Stunfisk, Talonflame, Trevenant, Charjabug, Skeldurge, and Clodsire. So that's nice. I mean, the obvious ones off the top of my head are Feraligator's new, so they couldn't have banned that, which makes sense. But like Poliwrath's not on this list, which it should be. Annihilape is newer, so I understand why it's not on this list, but Annihilape will be everywhere. Skarmory on this list? Skarmory is not on this list. When did it get Steel Wing? This season, right? So that's why it's not on this list, but it'll be everywhere. Whiscash is on this list, so I expect Quagsire to be everywhere in the open. And then you can replace, like Charjabug, just replace with Galv. See what I do here. Probably stay in, right? I got a lot of decent leads. The problem with these, why I hate running these style teams, is that if you get a good lead like that, it completely kills your strategy. And this is why I hate using these teams, because if you get a good lead, like the Quagsire against Pelipper is a pretty good lead for Pelipper, unless they land a Stone Edge. That's a kind of a bait game, but in general, it's a good lead for Pelipper. But then you just run the risk of getting hit with a fighter in the back and just getting killed, right? So that's why I don't love using these types of teams. I much prefer using the team that I used. Was it this morning? Kind of this morning. Like just a bounce team. I think it was mostly the Sunday team that I talked about. What was the Sunday team? Well, the Sunday team was like an all-save swap team. With Vigoroth, Steelix, and Mandibuzz. They all seem safe, so I didn't really... I'm not too worried about that. But yeah. Yeah, I think this is the last battle anyways. Shielding, because I did get that wing attack through. Now I'm back on the Quagsire, which again, they have to land Stone Edge. And I think I remember what happens here. 1 and throw. Again, this right here is the easiest catch in the world. 1 fast move and throw. That's what everyone does. They throw 1 fast move and then they throw their charge move. It's just like... And it's so funny because it's not like you need to... They're both 2-turn fast moves. Wing Attack and Mudshot are both 2-turn fast moves. So I'm gonna get a fast move in no matter what, whether it's right away on the first one or on the second one. I'm gonna get a fast move in. So just don't make it obvious you're gonna do the 1 and then throw. I started like switching it up, like because I've made that mistake before too. So now I started to like either throw right away, like let them throw the fast move, and then I throw if I have the move, I throw right away. Or you really need to make sure that just take that half second and let them throw their second fast move before you throw your charge move, just so you don't get caught like that. Anyways, that is it. Yeah, I got a Double Dark team that did well coming probably tomorrow. I'm in the midst of a Lantern team, Lantern was actually like really, I just got like, you're going to see, I did well with the team, but I got hard cannon with Lantern on the lead like 7 times. But yeah, so that is coming too. And then maybe an Ultra League. Again, I keep saying maybe an Ultra League, maybe Ultra League, but I'm having fun with this Jungle Cup. Again, I just run the risk of like putting out 15 of these videos this week and then it's Master League in this next week. So we'll see. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.